anyway?
I don't know. What's going on over there? Well, I think somebody fell in the street. Come on, let's go help them. Well, he's okay, but why didn't you come help me?
Why, I'm studying and waiting, of course.
Waiting for what?
For the call.
The call?
The call!
What is the... That kid just stole that lady's purse! Hurry, come on, we can catch him still! Come on! Yeah. Okay. What kind of neighborhood is this? We got people falling in the street, kids snatching purses, you just sitting there. What are you doing? Why didn't you help me?
I'm studying.
What are you studying?
First aid.
Did you see that? That car just hit that guy on the motorcycle. Come on, we gotta go. Let's go. Come on! I need to use your phone.
Not my phone.
Yes, let me use your phone.
No, you can't. You can't.
Well, I gotta call the ambulance.
I might get a call any moment. I've been waiting so long.
What?
For the call. The call.
What call?
At long last, I've waited. Oh, this is the call. I feel so honored. Oh, the call. Hello? I can't believe this.
What?
It's for you.
We can sometimes make living out our Christian life so difficult and so complicated. This fall we're going to be talking about what does it mean to be a disciple? What does it mean to live as a follower of Jesus? Some people want to see some sort of a message in the sky. Some want to receive a phone call. Someone want a specific message. But maybe it's an issue of being available to be used by God with the opportunities that come our way. A few weeks ago I was meeting with a group of other pastors, and one of them made a comment that in the church we shouldn't be asking for volunteers, but rather we should be asking for people who are willing to live out their life as a disciple. It's not just an issue of inviting people to volunteer for a job, but rather inviting people to live as a disciple and being involved in ministries in the life of the church, or maybe opportunities to serve that we come across as we're going about our everyday lives. Now, I'm going to try not to talk about people volunteering in the life of the church. But I'm going to try and talk this fall about inviting people to live as a disciple, using your gifts and graces, using the opportunities that God's given you in order to live out your walk as a follower of Jesus. There are jobs that need to be done on Tuesday evening with Soup for the Soul. And if we think about those jobs with Soup for the Soul as a volunteer, it's very easy to say, well, I did it last month, or I did it this summer, or I don't have time. Let someone else volunteer. But when we start thinking about the opportunity to be the hands and feet of Jesus, the opportunity to be a part of Soup for the Soul is just one example in where we can live out being a disciple. Whether that's preparing the food, whether that's serving, whether that's cleaning up. What if we thought about living as a disciple in the terms that Jesus talked about in Matthew 25? When Jesus said, whenever you feed someone, whenever you give them a drink of water, whenever you do something in my name, whenever you meet a need, care for one of the least of these, Jesus said, it's as if you're doing it unto me. As we live as disciples, as we seek to live out our walk as a follower of Jesus, then it's an issue that we become his hands and feet in the world. But it also becomes an opportunity as we serve others. It's as if we're doing it unto Jesus. God has not given us our gifts, our talents, our abilities in order to do nothing with them. But he's given them to us in order that we might be disciples, that we might live for him, that we might help others in his name and for his sake. And so as we launch into this fall season, I want us to regularly ask ourselves a question, not just on Sunday mornings, but throughout the week, asking ourselves a question: how am I living as a disciple? What have I done today that I've done because I'm a follower of Jesus? As I think about the fall and this idea of how do we live as disciples? How do we live as living out our lives following Jesus? Where do we start? What do we look at? Where do we start with that? And I want us to look at a story in Mark chapter 12. Jesus has been having a debate with some of the Sadducees, and one of the teachers of the law goes by and hears this debate and is interested in what Jesus has to say. And beginning in verse 28, it says, noticing that Jesus had given them a good answer, the teacher of the law asked Jesus, of all the commandments, which is the most important? The most important one, Jesus answered, is this: Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind and with all your strength. The second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. When Jesus answered this question from the teacher of the law, he connected two scriptures out of the Old Testament that weren't often connected. The first one he quoted was from Deuteronomy 6, and every good Jew, even every bad Jew, was probably aware of that passage out of Deuteronomy 6. It's referred to as the Shema. It was probably the Jewish confession of faith. Every Jew would know this, that the Lord your God is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. And in Deuteronomy, it talks about loving God with all your heart, but also that you're to instill that in the lives of your children. You're to share that. You're to pass that on to the next generation.